Hey everybody, this is me, Undead Viking. I want to talk to you about this game that's called Watchmen of Destiny. I don't have a game box to show you, so I'm just going to show you the backs of the 3 different types of cards that you're going to be using during this game. The Watchmen of Destiny is a kind of fantasy, anthropomorphic, animal-themed game where each player is leading a band of adventurers, or hiring a band of 7 adventurers that are going to become your Watchmen of Destiny. The king needs these watchmen to watch over this mystical tree that gives great strength to whoever eats the fruit of it, and they want to make sure that none of the other harboring evil nations or whatever find out about that and try to steal the tree. And so the call has gone out for each player to create this 7-person army made out of these super cute little critters. Look at that, that's a little mouse ninja there. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using these different races, or different species, I should say, of animal that are also these different classes as well. And then you're going to be using the powers of those classes. You're going to be trying to create the 7 best warriors or mages or assassins or what have you, hunters, ninjas, and then whoever makes the best group, i.e. the ones worth the most points, will win the game. So why don't I show you how to play Watchmen of Destiny. The game is a heck of a lot of fun, and then we'll come back here and I'll talk to you more about why I like it. Alright, cool. This is Watchmen of Destiny. Let's learn how to play. Alright, so you see there's these 3 decks of cards here. These are the items, these are the tents, and these are the Watchmen of Destiny. During the game, you will be hiring these Watchmen of Destiny and trying to get them to join your army, and then whoever has the best army, the best 7-person army, will win the game. Alright, so these cards, they'll have a number up here. That is both the victory points they'll be worth at the end of the game, but also how much it costs to hire them to be one of your 7 guardians. All down here, and this is the cute little mouse guy here, but down here you'll have the, not only can you tell he's a mouse here, but if you have any question as far as what animal he is, there's like a little silhouette here, and that is the mouse silhouette. This gold coin here, the cards do serve a dual purpose. They can be used as resources, so if you're doing something like buying a tent, which costs a gold coin, you could discard this card for the 1 gold coin that he is worth, and then buy that tent for that. They can also be used to hire the animals as well. So like this one costs 3, so if you had other animals that had the cards that were worth a total of 3 gold, you then could hire this mouse, as long as he has a tent to live in. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, so just keep in mind that's the dual purpose of the cards. Now down here you'll actually see this little symbol here, and that will tell you the type or the class this mouse is. That would be an assassin. That's what that means. This little purple thing that has that 2 there, that is the number of actions that you'll get when you use this mouse, when you hire this mouse. Now, comparatively, like here is, this is an otter. He's kind of cute little dude here. You can tell that he has, like, you know, the little bow and arrow thing going on. And that doesn't tell you that he is the hunter. Then you can see right here that the little thing is hunter. It would cost 2 to hire him. He has worth a gold coin if you discard him to use for payment. And you can see there's a little purple 3 there, meaning there'd be 3 actions. And you can see the little otter silhouette as well. Now, the thing is that each one of these different classes has a different ability. Now, warriors don't have an action that they do, but they're worth an extra point at the end of the game. Hunters add 2 coins to your purchase. Mage, you take 2 cards from the discard deck and then put 1 back. The assassin, you draw 5 cards off of the Watchman deck, and then you pick 1 and you put the others back on top of the deck in any way you want. Now, those are all things you do on your turn. The ninja is different, as the fact that this is the ninja is somebody who interrupts other actions. As other people are taking their actions, you can yell ninja when somebody puts a card down on the discard pile, because they're going to be discarding these cards, you know, as for the dual purpose of like having like the coins and what have you. You yell ninja as soon as you see a card on the top, and then you can then claim that particular card from the discard pile. Now, if there's any discrepancy as far as that, usually you can tell who yells ninja first, but you know, so like you should be able to say. So, but the first person that yells ninja gets to do that. Anyway, so the way that the skills work is that you are going to buy these tents, and then when you have a tent, an open tent, you then can place your critter, in this case this otter hunter, in it. And so he has 3 actions available to him. What you're going to do is you're going to place the otter like so. And then each time you use his action, you will just slide the card up like so to show that his remaining actions. And eventually you will get to the very top there, And then you've used up all the actions, and now the otter will just sit there, and he'll be part of your group, and then you will be able, he'll count towards the points at the end of the game. And that is how that guy works. So the way the game starts off is that each person will draw cards off the top of the deck, and they will draw them one at a time. And then what you're doing is you're trying to get until you have at least 5 coins worth of value in your hand. So let's just do that and see what we get here. So the first card we're going to get, this is an Owl Assassin, and he's worth 1 coin. So we're at 1 right now. And then we're going to draw another one here. Let's see here. Okay, so we got an Otter Warrior. I just love the art on these cards. I mean, it's very, very cool, and my daughter loved it too. She thought these were cute as heck. But anyway, so here we have a Warrior Otter, and so 1 plus 3, that's 4. So we're going to get one more. Let's see if we get lucky and get something more than 1. So we can start with a good hand. And then, oh, cool, we got a 2. So now we got a Rabbit Assassin. So we got 2 Assassins and a Warrior in our hand. And so now we'd be good to go with these 3 particular cards. Now, each other person would do the exact same thing. I'm not going to do that for everybody else. And each person would do the exact same thing until they have their starting cards. And if you play with less than like 5, the max number of players, you will have less of these cards. You'll actually have less races that you'll take out. So, but in this case, since I'm playing with the max players, we are going to go ahead and have all the races available. Now, the next thing you do is these are the items. Now, you determine who the first player is. The rules state whoever was the last person to pet an animal in real life gets this basically tells you that you're going to go first. We'll just pretend that's me. Actually, I did just pet my dog outside. So anyway, and I'm the only person playing right now, so I guess I'm right. So the necklace tells you you're the first player. Now, the rest of these items are all going to have like different actions and different abilities and things like that they have on them. And they all have like a different like little description as far as what it is. So the dartboard, and then so the bottom here, it tells you how many cards that you get to draw. So you're going to get to draw cards off the deck to put into your hand, and then it's going to tell you how many actions you can do. Now, that's the actions of your critters that you put in tents. So just keep that in mind. So even though you might have an otter hunter that has 3 actions, if you only get to do 1 action, you're only going to be able to do that 1 time. So anyway, so what you're going to do is that you're going to hand these out. Each person's going to get 2, and the person with the necklace is going to have 3 items in front of them. So remember that. So everybody else will have 2, but the person that's first player will have 2 items. Now, this little mark right here, that tells you whether or not you have to do this action. So you don't have to, like the dartboard says, for each hired hunter, you take 1 card from the discard pile to your hand. So you normally draw 2 cards off the main deck, but if you had like that otter hunter I had before, let's say we had him in a tent, you'd get to take, on your turn, if you wanted to, you could take a card from the discard pile from the top and add it to your hand. If you wanted to. You didn't have to, but you can. However, both this card, the necklace, has a little red circle there, meaning that you have to do what that says, which is you go first. So, and then there is one other card, which is the feast, that says, like, you get to draw 4 cards, which is awesome. You get to take 2 actions, which is awesome, but you cannot buy any Watchmen this round. You can't put any Watchmen down in front of you to increase the size. But you get to draw a bunch of cards, and, so it's pretty good. But anyway, so what happens is you're going to shuffle this up, and then you're going to give everybody 2 cards. I'm just going to give myself 2 at random here, like so. Alright, so I'm going to put those down. And then the rest of these will be handed out to everybody else, and all of them get used because we have 5 players, so there's 10 cards in that deck plus that necklace. And so we're going to look and see what we have here. And we have the cloak and the red potion. So the cloak says, exchange one of your hired watchmen for one that belongs to another player. If their value is different, pay him the difference. So one of the things, so that what that means is basically if your watchman, say like, I traded my owl for somebody else's otter or warrior or whatever, the difference would be 3. I'd have to give him 3 coins or more if I couldn't, because you can't break change with these things. I'd have to be given that to be able to use that ability. And then you draw 2 cards or have 1 action with that thing. Or here we have a red potion. Don't worry, it's just an energy drink. I say restore 1 already used action of one of your watchmen. And then you get to have 3 actions, and you get to draw 1 card. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick one of these cards. and you're going to place it in front of you, face down, and everybody else will do the exact same thing. So let's say I take the cloak. Probably not going to be able to use the power of the cloak in the first round of the game, but you get to draw 2 cards, which is always nice. And so we're going to go ahead and we put that face down. So these cards have actually in our hands. We put that face down in front of us along with this necklace. And so let me just randomly. So let's say they picked the spook, and they picked the dartboard. I'm just doing this randomly. This probably wouldn't be the best choice for all these people in these situations, but we're just going to go around like that. So the other people have placed their cards down, their items, and so you start with the first player, then you go clockwise around the table, and you're taking your actions. And so, like in this case, since we have the necklace, and then we flip this over for the cloak, we have our 3 cards here, and then we get to draw 2. So we're going to go ahead and draw 2. And so let's see, we got a puppy dog that's a hunter, and we got a warrior that looks like he's a dog as well. He's got a couple of puppies. All right, so what you're going to do then is that now you're going to figure out exactly what you're going to do. So on your turn, after you pick that particular pick your item that you're going to pick. Now you're going to go through the process of, like, you can buy a tent if you want. You can use the actions that are available on your animals if you have an animal that's down. And you can also, purchase a Watchman and place it down. So a tents cost 1 gold coin. So let me move this so I have a discard pile. So we have 1 gold coin. So what we're going to go ahead is, like, this is one of those things where you're going to have to discard cards to do it. So we have an owl assassin that's worth 1, and we have a dog hunter that's worth 1. But the thing is that at the end of the game, the more animals you have of different races or like species, you gain bonus points for having the most of those animals. So we're going to kind of look here, and so maybe, we got 2 dogs, so let's get rid of our owl, even though I don't really want to, but we're going to go ahead and get rid of our owl, and he's worth 1 gold coin, and so we're going to discard that, and that's going to allow us to buy a tent, and so we're going to put that over there. So now we can go through the process of maybe purchasing a Watchman and putting one down. And so I'd really like to get one of these 6-point critters out there, but it's going to cost, because it costs 6, I'm going to have to go 3 gold coins, 2 gold coins. It's going to cost me all of my gold coins to do it. But I'm going to have a warrior out there, and maybe I like this otter. I'm going to use the otter. And so what we're going to do is we're going to trade the 6 gold coins, 1, 2, 3, like so, and we're going to put these down. Now, remember, as I'm discarding this, if this was later in the game and somebody had ninjas out there, what they could do is, as I'm discarding, they could say ninja, and they could take my owl. So, like, we're going to go ahead and discard, and we discard, you 1, 2, 3, and that way it allows people to say ninja if they want, and then we'd hire our Watchman. And so, because he is a warrior, he doesn't have any action, so we're just going to put him face up like so, and then we've got that, and so now we have 1 of our 7 warriors, and we got a good one too, because he's a warrior, he's worth 6 points, he's worth an extra point at the end of the game, and plus he's an otter, and otters are cool. Alright, so then each person's going to do the exact same thing. I'm not going to go through each one of their turns, and then after all that is done, what happens is that each person will now get to pick. They still have their 1 card in their hand, right? But now they're going to take the cards that have these special abilities. They're going to take one of them. They can't take their own, but they're going to take one of them that somebody else played, and they're going to put it into their hand. Now, because we're the first player, because we have the necklace, we'll do just that. We are going to take one of those cards. So we're going to go ahead and look. And, I do like this letter because it allows you to steal another card from their player. So we're going to take that one and put it in, and then the next person goes, and the next person goes, and the next person goes. Now, say the person that had the dartboard is kind of tired of going last. They don't want to be, they want to move up in the turn order. So they can, so like let's say the shield, he took the cloak, so then he'll have that one. And then we get to the person with the dartboard. Oh, I'm sorry, then the person that had the note, maybe they took the spook. So the person with the dartboard says, you know what, I am going to take, this, the necklace, so I can be first player. So when this player goes, they're, maybe they would go ahead and take the dartboard, and then they would have to take the last available card, like so. So you're if you do take the first player, you then have to wait until then you take whatever is left. You take the leave-ins, if you will. But then the first player would leave this that player would leave that, and they would become the new first player for the next round. So that's how the necklace moves around and how like the first player gets to go. So that's how that changes. So what happens is this game continues until one person manages to have, and I'm just gonna oh, I should mention one thing. When you buy tents, if you pay 2 gold, you can buy 2 tents. If you pay 3 gold, you can buy 3 tents. Just so you can know. But so once somebody, and I'm just gonna slap these out here without tents on them, but once somebody is able to have their full 7 cards, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right. So once that happens, and they have their 7 cards out, now that signifies the end of the game. But the round that happens is finalized on that particular round. So if it was like the 3rd player in the 5-player game, the 4th and 5th player would still get to go, and so they could complete and have 7 as well. But that is the final round. Then what you end up doing is you count up the points that each of these are worth. So you have 2, 5, that would be 11, 15, 19, I can't count, 24, and 30. So you'd have a total of 30 points. However, if you have the same 2 cards that are the same species and the same class, you lose a point. Now, I don't think I've done that. I came close. Here, I have a dog mage and a cat mage, but I didn't do that. But if I, for whatever reason, let's see. Wait a minute. I have a dog. Well, I have a dog fighter, a cat warrior, and a otter warrior. But here, let me find one that matches up. Say, for example, instead of this dog, I had 2 cat warriors instead. Now, if you match it up, you're going to lose a point for having the same type of animal that's the same class as far as the warrior goes. So in this case, let's hold it up again. So we have 11, 15, 19, 23, 29, 31. We have 3 warriors, so that's 3 more points, 34. But then we're going to deduct 1 point because of the fact that we total up. So there would be a total of 33 points in this situation. But then, after that is done, what you're going to do is you're going to compare each and everybody else's tableau, and you're going to see how many of each animal you have. And so, if you have the most of said animal, you gain bonus points totaling all of the animals, including everybody's player board they have in front of them, their tableau, as a bonus point. So, let's say, for example, because we have 1, we have 2, we have 4 cats. I just realized that. Wow. We have 4 cats. So obviously we probably won the cats because you have 4 cats too, and everybody else. And let's say there's a total, including your own 4, there was a total of 11 cats out there. You would get a bonus of 11 points for winning the maximum cats. If 2 players happen to match, somebody else had 4 cats as well, and you're both maximum, then nobody gets anything. So instead of splitting it down the middle or anything, you just have the bonus. Nobody gets the bonus points for that particular race. You do that for every single possible race, and then you give out all the bonus points, and then whoever has the most points will win the game. If there is a tie, you will total up the number of gold between the 2 people, and whoever has the most gold then will be the tiebreaker. That's the only situation that you use the gold, though. You don't use the gold; doesn't count for points in that situation. But there you go. There's Watchmen of Destiny. That is how you play the game. It is a very, very cute game. I love the artwork in this game, but also kind of a set collection situation and a resource management and hand management type of game. That's a lot of fun that I've enjoyed a great deal. But let me talk more about that in my conclusion, which I will do right now. I know this is like the 3rd or 4th time I'm going to say this, but man, I just love the artwork in this game. I love the otters. The otters are like the coolest. I always end up trying to get the otters more than any other thing. Look, here's the otter assassin with his little eye patch there. He's so cool. Anyway, so I don't know. I just like otters because they do cute little human things with their hands. But anyway, so so there you go. That is Watchmen of Destiny. Thank you for sitting through the gameplay portion of the video. The game is pretty straightforward, but it has some cool little tricks and cool little quirks. The thing is that I love the whole process of the different the different cards that have the different items that use the different powers. And the thing is that you keep the one secret at the very beginning, and then that you might never ever play that. I mean, you probably will, but I mean the thing is that that card does remain secret, and so the cards kind of shuffle and move around the table. And being able to be like the person to pick the one, like that's where like that first player really comes in handy. Being able to take the best possible card, for the situation or the state that the game is in at that time, is really important. And I love that aspect of the fact that those different powers or whatever, like you get to choose the reveal. I love games with the reveal where you put the card down and you reveal what they do, and then you can kind of see maybe what the plan is of the players that are across the table. I dig that totally. Now, I mean, like I said, the artwork's amazing, but also I just love how the different both the race, I mean, the race is like important, or I keep saying race, but the species of the animal is important, obviously, for the end game scoring, but you don't, it took me a while for me to get that across my head. It's like you don't really think of that. I was always looking at the class, like, do I want, like, the hunters, at this point because of their thing, or do I want another ninja so I can take cards into my hand, things like that. And then I kind of realized that it's like, no, I mean, because of the fact that you are, trying to get that set, you're trying to get more of the same species, because then it's worth a ton of more points. But the thing is that you can go heavy on, like, say, dogs or whatever, and have like 5, theoretically. I mean, it would be tough, but you could maybe pull that off. But the thing is that the other players are going to notice that, and they're not going to play dogs. They're going to say, oh, well, no, I'm not going to give you a ton of points in the game. I'm not going to have like 4 dogs and 5, and he's going to have 3, and all of a sudden you get a ton of points. So there is some diversification that you need to look at having. And that's really difficult to do, but challenging. Not difficult like bad, but challenging, and very, it brings the game back to the table when you're playing like with 4 or 5 people. Now when you're playing with 3 or 2, like I said, you're playing with less species, so it does become, it isn't like it isn't a cakewalk, so to speak. So I mean, but I found the game with 4 or 5 players was when I really liked the game. I played it 2 players with my daughter. She enjoyed it a great deal. I mean, she just loved the pictures, obviously, but I enjoyed it for that back and forth. I mean, there's a couple of different rules, as far as like basically the first player with just alternates back and forth. You don't bother using that little card with the timepiece. So I mean, so there's some differences, but for the most part, it stayed the same, and it was very challenging. But it was a different game. I mean, not different bad, just it was a different feel. Whereas with 4 or 5, then there's a lot of conflict going on. There's a lot of, like basically kind of making sure that certain cards, don't hit this card if somebody's got a ninja that has the ability to take them. Things like that, where you kind of had to be on your toes, and it made for a very, very enjoyable and very, very dynamic and very, very, like, I wouldn't say completely conflict-driven, because, I mean, there is some messing around with each other. Not a ton, but there is some, but it definitely is something where you had to be really kind of aware and in the moment as far as what you thought maybe the other players are planning on doing or planning on trying to do. So things like that. I mean, I found the game to be very enjoyable for that reason, and and I just felt like the game itself, kind of expanded a little bit when just as far as like what it presented to me when I played with more players, and so enjoyable with all numbers, because I played it with every 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's just like, but I liked how it did the experience changed with the different numbers of players as well. So if you're looking for like, well, a cute little game, I mean, because I love this art, but if you're looking for a game where it's not only you being having the presence of mind to like make sure that you're putting together like the best maximum point scoring, but also having the presence of mind of like realizing that what your opponents are doing has a direct effect on your scoring as well, and being aware of that. And so you kind of have races, if you will, for species and dominance of the species. Then I think you're really going to enjoy this game. So I urge you to go ahead and check it out. And if you have any questions about how the game is played, go ahead and ask Will. I'll be happy to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, I appreciate greatly you taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I'm the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.